Hey everyone, we are re-recording our intro. Say hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Francesco. We are a couple and we are sailing and traveling and adventuring, and we wanted to podcast and create a website and a tracker so our friends and family could follow us. Check us out at www.sailingpb.com. PB stands for Prima Barcavela, which is our first sailboat. We are bareboat chartering and adventuring, and coming up, we got a big trip to Guadeloupe and Thailand, and we wanted you all to be able to follow us, so check us out there. And the podcast here is all about our leading up to that trip, planning and thinking about, are we insane? Are we insane, Jennifer?
Yes.
Cool.
Affirmative.
Wait, okay, hello? Alright, this is sound check number 2. I'm trying different settings, just FYI. This is like this thing called MUI. It's like a microphone that you plug into your iPhone, and it has little furry socky things that look like bunny rabbit feet, and I've got it, it's two microphones, one faces you, one faces me, and I've changed the setting from 0 dB, which of course stands for dirtbag, to -6 dB, and now it's on -12 dB. So, sound check, please.
I'm the -12 dB, right?
Right on.
I'm less dB.
You're far less dB than me.
100% true.
This is so not true. I shower way more than you.
Not true. Well, true.
You're granola, and I love you for it.
But I have a better natural aroma.
It's like roses. It smells like roses all the time.
You're exactly right.
It's a pungent smell of roses.
Why does it gotta be pungent?
I don't know. I just like the word pungent.
Okay. Pungent feels aggressive
I know.
and negative.
I know.
No.
Can you give me a sound check?
Testes? Is that what the rock and rollers say?
Testes?
I think so.
Testicles. All right, then. Let's see if that sound check came out all right. We'll be right back again. All right. We're doing this.
Okay.
So, FYI, everybody, we just recorded a half-hour episode of our 4th podcast, maybe? And something happened, and
We had technical difficulties.
it was a really good one, too. It was very, very well done. And it just disappeared completely.
It's gone into the universe.
Yeah.
It evaporated.
We need to remember never to bounce over to other apps and back again.
Yes.
So, anyway, so we are recording another SEAbbatical podcast to talk about everything going on leading up to our trip that's coming up. We are going Guadeloupe for 4 weeks and then Thailand for 6 weeks. And we have things we wanted to share with everybody. So we have some anxiety, some nervous anxiety, some excitement, but some little bit of drama, a little bit of things we could trying to get done here before we go. One of them being chickens.
Chickens.
We have a chicken situation on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to talk about the host of the boat through SEAbbatical. It's kind of like Airbnb for boats, and we haven't heard from him. So we're a little bit nervous about that. We'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about our packing checklist and our piles of clothes in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about SIM cards and how do we stay in communication as we are traveling around the planet.
Yes, we're into the small details phase of this.
That's right.
Because we are on T-minus 11 days.
11 days.
Yes.
Yikes.
I know, it's so exciting.
It's exciting as we sit here on our back patio with our cup of coffee and rum chata, as it's chilly and dreary, and leaves are falling off the trees, or gone already. Mm-hmm. So we're excited for some warm weather and winter escape.
Yeah, we're skipping winter this year.
Heck yeah, we're skipping winter. High five.
High five. Down with winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down with winter. Hell with it.
I'm not built for this. It gets cold and my skin dries out, my hair gets brittle. I'm a humid weather girl, and
You're a Florida girl.
I am a Florida girl. My hair gets afro-y, but we won't. That's a whole other.
Let's not have a headline. Florida woman travels around the world.
But can we? We can put a positive spin on that.
Of course we will.
Yeah.
So, tell us about the chicken situation.
Oh, the chickens. Our girls. We have Hey, Blanche, and Ethel, who need babysitters while we're gone. We were going to give them away, but then one of my sweet, sweet patients and his wife agreed to chicken sit. They have, I mean, it sounds like an outright farm. They've got a flock of 30. He loves birds. They've got goats and a peacock
And a pig.
And a pig. 2 pigs.
Baby pig.
They've got a little pig, and a big pig thinks he's a goat.
He's turned feral.
I did. Yes. He's so funny. All kinds of stuff out there. So geese. I don't think I told you that. I think he's got geese.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Ducks.
Do they have guinea fowl?
He does have. He asked me if I wanted one.
Are we gonna come home with guinea fowl and pigs when we come
We're
back
gonna
from
come.
this?
We're coming home with. We're gonna make a farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
boy.
So, anyways, I am grateful that we have this gentleman who I know will take great care of our chickens and give them a good little life while we're gone. However, these dumb birds decided to molt in the cold weather, which is very uncommon and apparently very uncomfortable and stressful on their little bodies. And moving them is not the most ideal thing at this point. So I'm
Dum-dums.
riddled with guilt over chickens right now because we're going to have to move them at a time that's probably not going to be...
Did we name the one Hey Hey from the Moana movie because the chicken in that movie was Dum-Dum?
Dumb. Yes, and she
Why would you
fits.
molt in winter? You need these feathers to keep you warm.
I know.
This is the worst time to molt.
I know it. What are you going to do?
So,
So anyways, that's the little stress right now, but I did read today that the I guess molting can be painful, but after about the first 5 days, the pain is not so much. So that makes me feel better because we're not going to move them for another week, and they've already been molting for over a week. So
they're very lethargic right now.
yeah, they're just chilling. They're not
They're
making us
using-
eggs.
They're trying to use all their energy to make more feathers.
Mm-hmm. They look goofy too.
They do look goofy and janky.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny about chickens is that they're a production line of eggs. If you look like online at like the pictorials, there's a big chicken egg about to come out. Then the next size is a little bit smaller, then a little smaller. This is all inside of a little chicken body.
Mm-hmm.
And what's fascinating is like they just turned off. Like they didn't go from like we had eggs every day, which we did, to like littler eggs and smaller eggs and smaller eggs. It just shut off. So what
Yep.
happened to the eggs? Assembly line of eggs that are inside these little chicken bodies?
They turn that calcium into feathers,
Do you
I
think that,
guess.
like the eggs got like reabsorbed into the body to be used for the energy and protein to go back into making feathers? I wonder if that's what happens. I'm so fascinated by
I know.
chickens. There's so many fascinating things about chickens.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Crazy
Owning
stuff.
chickens has been just one learning lesson after another.
These little dinosaurs that
Seriously.
they look like little raptors.
They do.
And they're brutal to each other. That's what's given us a lot of anxiety.
Yes.
Is like we've introduced new chickens into our chickens flock, or whatever you want to call it, and there is a pecking order where they will peck the crap out of each other and to establish who's the number one at the peck. That's why they call it pecking order.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're about to drop these chickens into a flock of how many? 20, 30 chickens, and they're already miserable. They're
Yep.
already like not in a good state of mind.
Right? And then they've got to go
And
through
then
their
they're gonna-
pecking order.
Pecking order situation.
I do think, though, the pecking order it sounds worse than it is.
Yeah, I hope
Because
so.
you could hear them like squawking and everything,
Yeah.
but then when you go down and look at it, they're not really doing anything crazy to
hurting
want
each
to.
other
No,
brutally.
it just,
Okay.
I think it's a little bit more drama, which
Okay.
with these 3 girls makes a lot of sense.
Drama.
Yes.
So, I don't know, maybe they'll keep the chickens at the end of this experience and we'll get new chicks, which I'm kind of excited about and wanting to do because the chicks that we had, that we raised from when they were chicks, we could handle them a lot more. They would come to us, they were like pets, they were friendly. The new chickens that we now are left with after all of our original chickens died from dogs, foxes, hawks, everything wants to kill our chickens.
Yes.
The original ones, we don't have any more of those left. And so these chickens, they are very skittish. They never come around, come up close. We can barely get them to eat out of our hand. So I'm a little bit excited about like actually getting new chicks and starting from little chicks again. And I want to get like a wider variety. I want to get Easter egger chickens, which lay like the bluish eggs. I want to get the barred rock chickens that are really pretty. They're like black and white speckled chickens. So I kind of would like to do that. The only problem is it's always like a gamble. Do you end up with hens or roosters? Because you don't want roosters.
Yeah, we've already done that. We're not doing roosters again.
We are ridiculous. We went and got... I'm ridiculous. It's all me.
Thank you. I was
I'll
waiting.
own up to it. I went on Craigslist, and I wanted to get junkyard chickens, and we got what was left over after all the other good ones were picked over. But it's really hard to pick. You are supposed to not be able to really, truly tell what's a hen and what's a rooster when they're that young. And we picked 6 chicks, and we got 5 roosters.
We sure did.
That was a nightmare.
It was.
But we kept one of them, which was awesome, and he was really wonderful. But good God, was he loud!
Yeah, the whole wake you up in the morning with doodling is not
They doodle all day long
all day.
and loud.
Mm-hmm.
So That one went the way of a dog, though. A dog came in and
Yeah, he was protecting the
killed
other
Bruce.
girls.
Yep. But anyways, we'd love to end up with new fresh chicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Anything else about the chickens you want to talk about?
no, I mean I love having them. I love all the fresh eggs. That has been a real
Yeah,
treat,
it is awesome.
and I just feel bad.
I mean, we can eat them. Eat the chickens.
You are not killing those
I
birds.
know, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
They're like pets.
they are.
But so that's one of the many things going on with us right now, between work, life, and everything else. There's so much to finish up at work. There's so much to finish up around the house. I've got a kid we're trying to get into college. She's applying to colleges, scholarships, and all that. So there's all that going on. So chickens being thrown in the mix too.
Yes.
Just one more thing.
Silly birds.
But the other thing we want to talk about was SEAbbatical. So we used SEAbbatical for securing this. We're bareboat chartering a Beneteau 38 for 4 weeks around Guadeloupe. And SEAbbatical's a really great website. You know, shout out to that website. It's very reputable. It's international. Hundreds of thousands of people probably use it. There's like reviews on there, so you can kind of vet. And SEAbbatical vets the people that are using it, and they also vet the people who are putting their boats on there, and also vetting the people who are trying to charter boats on there. So it's a great website. The only concern is our host or our owner of the boat we're communicating with has not been very communicative.
He's not verbose.
There you go. So we would like to have more communication. We've paid in full, and which sounds scary, but it's not, because it's Sam boat. It's like
Yes.
Airbnb. It's very well protected. There's all kinds of guarantees,
Yes.
insurances. Like there's like you're protected. So I don't fear that we've paid in full. We wouldn't get our money back, but we would like to have more communication, and he's not very and that's fine. It's just the way he is. But you know,
Yeah.
like we are 2 weeks out, less than 2 weeks out, and we've sent him 2 emails, one through Samboat, one through personal email, and said, hey, can we just maybe communicate sooner? He laid down the law that we were going to communicate 1 week before in a WeChat group chat. But we're like, we have 1,000 questions, and we would like to talk with him about these things.
Yes.
Like the marina, where is it? You know, what's at the marina? What do we have access to?
Yeah, we just want time to sort of research those little details. We don't even know if we can stay in the marina for a couple of days to give us time to provision, and we've rented a car to kind of explore on land for a couple of days and get
So
all
is
the
this
things
slip-
we need.
Is this slip
Yeah.
going to be there? Is this his slip all the time, or just a temporary slip that he's got the boat in? Do we
Yeah.
have to be out at a certain time? What's the boat set up like? Is there like electrical outlets? Is it American outlets, or is it European outlets?
Just the little
All the
stuff, and
things.
we'd like a little bit more time to research it than the 7 days apparently he's going to allot us. But
So that's giving us a little bit of anxiety,
yeah,
a little bit of.
I'm sure it'll work out. It's
extra.
adding to the adventure, isn't
is.
it?
Check back with us. We might not have a boat at all. We're gonna have to totally pivot, and what the hell do we do then? So that could be a last minute fiasco if we don't get in touch with this guy.
It would be a trip.
We did last time we checked with him was like a couple months ago. Really, it was the last time I think we heard from him. I asked him how's the boat after the Guadeloupe hurricane went through.
That's right.
And he said the boat is just fine.
Yeah.
And that was all he said. It was one half a sentence. I think it was the last.
Well,
I
yeah,
heard
for
from him.
that matter, I didn't even think about that, but a lot of the marinas were destroyed with that storm too. So who knows what's going on there?
I think the marinas there are okay by Pointe de Pitre because they're kind of
They're tucked.
They're tucked in really well.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean they're hurricane holes anyway.
Okay.
But they had crazy flooding.
Flooding,
though.
yeah. I saw some of
one
the
of their
docks.
main bridges that goes between the islands. So Guadeloupe is shaped like a butterfly, and in the middle of the butterfly, there's 2 bridges that go across and connect the 2 major islands or major land masses, and one of those bridges washed out completely.
Yeah, I think we
So,
talked about this
yeah.
before. Yeah, I'm curious to see how they've rebuilt because I know they definitely took a lot of damage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's one of the things that we got going on.
that should be interesting. And in that same vein, we really would love if anybody out there has any information on Guadeloupe they'd like to share. It's interesting. I think just because so few Americans go there, there's not a lot of information in English, anyways, on the internet to find, particularly with sailing, and hopefully Navionics will give us everything we need once there. But
Navionics has been pretty awesome, and there's Navily, NAVILY.com. I just found that recently, and that's another good one for showing different information about anchorages. It seems to be a pretty good website. I haven't explored it fully and thoroughly, but it seems to be a good resource.
Yeah, because it does seem like Guadeloupe is a little bit more particular than some places as
Mm-hmm.
far as
More
anchoring
anchoring.
goes. Yeah, they don't want you. They're very protective, which I
Yeah.
completely
That's awesome.
understand.
Yeah, great.
But being that it's December holiday season, like what kind of crowd are we going to be
Yeah.
running into?
We would
So,
really love to pick some people's brains that have been there and spent time there, what to do, where to go, how to do things. I was thinking about water the other day. Like, we're going to have two teenage boys who, don't conserve water very well.
well, they'll have to.
They'll have to, but you know how things go.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we're going to be out. Like, we're
Yeah.
not going to be at a marina probably for a full 10 days.
Yep.
So we're going to have to get, like, the cans and go collect water. So where do we get water around Guadeloupe? Is it easily accessible? Do we go to the marinas? Do they charge us for water? Like, all these questions I have, and I wake up and my head starts spinning in the morning, and I was like thinking about us showering, the boys showering and washing or just cleaning us, because I was like, oh my gosh, like water, like we're gonna run out of water very fast.
I feel like this needs to be a pre-trip conversation with them. This
Yes,
is
for
not
sure.
a everyday shower situation.
For sure, yeah.
This is jump in the water and
Yeah.
soap off and
And for some reason, I have anxiety about SIM cards. This is the topic we're going to talk about. We'll talk about now, like SIM cards. Like I'm more worried about Rocco. He really is connected, with not TikTok so much, but Instagram and
definitely.
Snapchatting and texting for friends. And I'm like, we're not going to have the ability to text through AT&T. Otherwise, they charge us $10 a day if we access it through. So we have to shut off AT&T and use SIM cards. And so we've been trying to do a lot of research on that. Jennifer's done more research on that than I have. What have you found as far as like how you get SIM cards, what kind of SIM cards, how much?
this is a case of too much information on the internet. Sometimes I wish things were not so available to us. It would be much easier if there was one place I could go to find this information. So it's not as clear as I would like it to be. I was hoping we could just get away with using the eSIM technology, which seems to be the best option. However, for Guadeloupe, there's only one option, and it's like 1 gig for $7, and that's just we'll blast through that pretty quickly.
And that's the eSIM that's through the phone.
Through the
like,
phone,
through the
through an
settings.
app.
On the newer iPhones, they have the eSIM option.
All new phones, yeah.
But we can also get a physical SIM card, which is what I used to do when I went to Germany. You'd swap out the SIM card, you pop it out, pop in a new one. And I like that option. And I also like doing that locally because they have experience. Like, you go to a shop at the airport or nearby at a mall, and they'll set it up for you. They'll activate it. They'll make sure you're on the network that's local. They'll make sure everything is good. So I've done that. I feel confident with that. And those prices seem to be really good too. But
That was much better than the eSIM there in particular.
So with a SIM card there, I think we found the orange SIM card in Guadeloupe. You can get like how much was the cost and how many gigs?
So it varied. They had multiple options. That's why I think we're going to have to go with the traditional SIM card there. And I also think there's probably not as much information for there or as easy. Like with Thailand, the eSIM seems like a no-brainer. There's so many options. We'll be able to do that no problem. But I think, again, a lot of Europeans go to Guadeloupe, so there's not an issue of needing SIM cards because they're still on European communication
But I think it
towers.
was like 10 or 20 gigs for like $10 or something like that.
I mean, there were some that were from $5 all the way to $50. It just depends on how much data you want. But again, it's also European, so maybe the actual Wi-Fi will be better just around the communities. It always seems to be the case.
We could pick up Wi-Fi wherever we need to. But I'm really concerned about making sure I'm in contact with the boys. They are flying down without us and flying back without us. So I need to be in touch with them, without any hiccups during their travel down and back. But then, also once they're there, do we get everybody a SIM card? Angelo has said he doesn't care about being in touch at all. He's like, I can shut down my phone.
I think you need to encourage, this is a beautiful American kid lesson,
Yeah.
or just, modern kid lesson. It's time to unplug a little bit and just be.
And I did talk to both of them about that. I said, you guys, I am so looking forward to this trip, to bond with you guys, spend time with you guys, shutting off the rest of the world and just us having time together.
Yeah.
Because they're 18 and 15 and a half, and they're both driving, and I barely see them. Like, it was the most special evening we had Friday night. I was so happy that I had both boys and Jennifer, and we were sitting on the couch watching football, and we were just bonding and laughing, and I was like, this is like the best night with my boys in months. And that was a little teaser, I hope, of us going on this sailboat, sitting around playing games, going adventuring, going sailing, going scootering, going scuba or snorkeling.
The only thing I could make it sweeter is if my kiddo could join us, but she's busy getting ready for grad school, so that's not happening.
So I'm super excited about this as being a bonding experience with my boys before Angelo goes off to college, and Rocco gets more into his teenage kid groups, or I don't see him anymore.
I know.
And he starts working. Well, I'm not going to see him between working and kids and sport, friends and sports and everything. Man, I barely see my kids, so
it's the way it goes. It's nature's design, right? They start pulling away, and then
so
they're
funny. It's so funny as a parent because you're just like, I want to spend time with my kids, and then you think back to when you were a teenager. It's like I never saw my parents.
Yeah.
Like from the time I had a skateboard in 8th grade, 7th grade, I was gone.
Yeah, unless I needed
food
or money, that's it. Bye.
And the parents didn't care. They weren't like maybe they were, but I don't remember them ever being like, I wish I spent more time with my kids. Why aren't you guys around more often?
Of course they did, but still.
We were gone, and it was fine to be gone all day and come home for food and sleep.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just excited to spend time with the boys too.
That'll be a nice treat.
So yeah, the SIM card thing, that's about it on that. The other thing to talk about is our pack list. Our checklists for checklists.
You do. And I have a checklist I'm trying to uncheck from. Take things off the list. It's so hard because of the length and then the variety of things, because we've got two trips really combined into one. So if it was just the sailing trip, that's very easy to pack for in my mind, other than we're taking more than we normally would with regards to like sunscreens and medications, things that would be expensive to buy down there and are necessary. But
so we can't pack heavy because we're going to be on a small boat. It's 38-foot Beneteau, but still we're going to have boys, but then we're not. But it's like we're also packing for Guadeloupe and for Thailand, and in Thailand we're bringing all kinds of additional antibiotic medications. I guess for Guadeloupe too, if we got cuts or if we got sick. We want to, be able to eat everything we can eat.
That's not taking up too much packing space or anything, though. But it's more the bringing the snorkeling stuff, and then some, like in Thailand, we have some dinners scheduled, so we need some decent clothes to wear.
And we're going to Malaysia, so Jennifer has to cover up apparently.
Yeah,
because she's translucent.
I think most women have to cover there.
Exactly. So one of the things we're super excited about is we found that in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, which from Bangkok is about, I think, a 12 or something hour train ride, we can get to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and there's a festival there. It's the largest Hindu festival in the world, I think it is, or nearly. It's a full moon festival, and it's in celebration of this god. I don't remember the name of it, but we're really excited to share it. We're going to find out as much as we can about this.
Yeah, we just learned about this a few days ago.
What's it called again?
Taipuism, I believe. I'm saying it right?
Yeah. So it's a
Taipu Sam?
Overwhelming sensory overload of sights, smells, sounds, people chanting, screaming. There's body mutilation where they pierce their bodies with different things through the cheeks and tongues and through the back, and they have hooks attached, and they do a marching parade thing from the middle of Kuala Lumpur, 15 or 16 kilometers barefoot, as people are tugging on the things that are through their bodies, as they're making their way to Batu Caves, which is on the outskirts of Kuala Lumpur. Then they hike up nearly 300 steps into a gigantic cavernous cave, and there's all these symbolisms along the way of this whole experience. We're going to find out as much as we can and share it with everyone. We're so excited. I'm stoked. I'm so pumped about this experience that Jennifer had found out about.
Yeah, these are the best parts about traveling. This is finding out you can land in one of these major cultural experiences, something that's so different than anything you've ever seen. So that I was definitely tickled to find out that we would be there at that time, and also that it worked with our somewhat, we don't really have much of an itinerary for Southeast Asia, but we kind of have a general idea of what we're doing, and we definitely were able to make this happen. So that'll be exciting.
So if you're curious about our full itinerary, we covered that in the last podcast. But for Thailand, we're arriving and spending a week with one of my best friends. He lives in Bangkok with his partner Anya, and we're going to spend the time there. Then we're going to go up to Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai in the northern parts for a week or 2 weeks at least. But we don't have any plans. Like we don't know where we're gonna go, what we're gonna do. But I mean, we know we're gonna find stuff that
We're
want
gonna
to go
see
see.
elephants.
Of course we are at the sanctuary where they're saving
Oh yes,
them.
we're not riding elephants.
No, we're not doing that. That is not nice to do. But we're going to see all the temples, and then we're going to be heading down to Malaysia, like we said, for this festival. But then we're going to jump on a sailboat, and we're going to crew for 11 days or 12 days from Phuket to Langkawi, Malaysia, and back.
Perhaps that was one of the...
That was one of the routes. The other route is more of a northern route from Ranong, Ranong, I believe it was. And that's right on the border of Burma. And we're going to sail offshore there to some different islands and reserves and things like that. So, but we don't have like exactly like where we're going to stay, what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of wing it a lot of the time, which is part of the adventure of doing it. I think kind of a backpacker mentality in this case.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're stoked to do that.
Well, and it's nice to have the friends in Bangkok too, because we're, with all this stuff we're talking about packing, we can leave everything there because we will eventually be flying back out of Bangkok. So then we can just pack our backpacks and go from there and not have to lug around all the stuff. So we definitely lucked out having that resource.
Yeah. So right now we're talking about the pack list, and Jennifer's already got piles of things in our bedroom stacking up for what she wants to bring and then not bring. So
yeah, my methodology is I make a pile, and then I let it sit there, and then I sit back down with it, and I pull some things out, and now I have a definite pile, a maybe pile, and a not going pile. So I'm eliminating because I don't know how else to do this. We're very well traveled, and packing is not an issue, but it's just the variety of things that we're going to be doing, and also the inability to do laundry.
yeah.
So that's the other thing. I mean, we can certainly get some laundry detergent on the boat and, wash things in a bucket, but if it's humid and rainy, that stuff is never going to dry. So
And what's difficult with this trip is the way that we originally we started this trip by we were going to do a 2-week trip, and that was it to Thailand. But then it expanded into unpaid leave, and then expanded to let's sail Guadeloupe, or the cheapest place we can find a boat to sail for a long period of time, which was Guadeloupe. And then so it became bigger. So now even though we're coming through Greenville, we are not going to be here long enough to come to our house, so we can't like pack for Guadeloupe and then pack for Thailand. We got to pack for everything at once, because this is crazy. We are literally going to fly from Guadeloupe to Miami to Charlotte to Greenville, pause for 6 hours, literally in the middle of the night. Like we literally get home like late at night, and we fly out 5:30 in the morning. So, and we might have guests at our house staying here at that time, so we can't come home. So then we're going from Greenville to Atlanta to Detroit to Seoul to Bangkok, all within like 2 days, 3 days.
yes.
So we got to pack everything.
And because the connection is so tight, there's a chance things could get thrown off. So I don't want to like leave a bag at a friend's house or anything like that. I just want everything with us just in case we have to reroute, say, from Miami instead of coming all the way back to Greenville.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. We're going to definitely going to be psychopaths and very stiff by the time we get to Thailand, but luckily there are Thai massages.
Thai massages. Stepping off the plane at 1 a.m. in the Thai airport, Bangkok airport. Take me to the Thai massage.
I bet we could find one at 1 in the morning in Bangkok. Let's be honest. Of all cities.
That's a 24-hour city.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but wait. 1 a.m. Thai massages in the Bangkok major city. Maybe there's other massages that you want to get.
Yeah, well, maybe they are. Don't judge me.
Oh boy. Giddy up. So, all right. We are 25 minutes into this thing. So yeah.
That's where we're at. Small details now. Small details, all the little nerves and
I keep getting this feeling like I'm forgetting stuff. Like I've got checklists, and I've got so much happening with finishing things at work, finishing things around the house, preparing the house, packing, pack lists, checklists, and I just have this anxiety that I keep forgetting something, and I don't know if I am or not.
It's so funny because we're well traveled and none of this stuff is usually a thing. But I do think there's a natural, like right before everything comes together, and just because we have so many little details, we have to prepare our house for renters that are coming, plus we have to pack, plus dealing with, like for me, it's been insurance, getting my daughter health insurance since I don't have my job anymore, and then getting myself travel insurance, and just you're getting Angela ready for school. Just all those little details come together to just make it feel a little chaotic. But boy, is it going to be worth it.
Heck yeah. So that's it. Y'all, please reach out to us. Please let us know. Please support us by helping to be a resource that we can reach out to. Send us your positive vibes. Follow us. Go to sailingpb.com, which stands for Prima Barcavella. Our website's the fastest way to find out where we're going to be. We have waypoint tracker in there that we're going to be using. You can see us on a map, the little jumps we're doing, and little information about every stop. Jennifer's blog is there, where she's blogging like crazy about everything, and she's going to blog a lot and write a lot about this trip, so we're going to share as much as we can. Sailingpb.com, and thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll keep sharing. Follow along.
Send some good vibes to our chickens.
Bye, y'all.